called me about 3 days ago and said, I'm going to introduce you. And I said, keep it real short. And he said, well, with your career, that's easy to do. So that was a nice introduction, by the way. Thanks. It's great to be here. I was up the road just the other day talking at another school, so I get to talk to a lot of guys. How many guys in here are 17 years old? Who's 17? Anybody 18? Anybody 19? Okay, you 17, 18-year-olds. I was asked by the President of the United States to go to Iraq and go with the 1st Cavalry. 1st Cavalry averages 19, so think of yourself, I'm in Iraq with a 19-year-old 1st Cavalry, and before I went over there, I had a neighbor kid that he had an earring, and he had his jeans wearing down low and his butt hanging out, and he's smoking a cigarette, and he had a lot of tattoos. And you get my age, you think, who's going to run this country? Who's going to take over when all of us old guys get in the box? And what you find when you're in a place like Iraq and your days are so dangerous, I didn't find one soldier at 19 years old that wasn't a better person than me. I didn't find one guy that didn't want to talk about Jesus Christ and where he was going and what he thought. Now, I hadn't coached football in a long time. I drove NASCAR for 15 years after I quit coaching the Falcons. And every soldier said, you got to come back and coach. We want you to come back and coach. Our parents tell us about that. In fact, the one kid, we were going to Fallujah across a bridge. You don't know who's coming back. And he goes, I got to get a selfie. I got to have a selfie of you, Coach, before we go to Fallujah. And I said, why do you got to have a selfie? And he said, you're my grandma's favorite coach. I said, you could have said mom. You didn't have to say grandma. So I know you young guys have no idea who's standing in front of you because we were doing things before you were born. We were having all kinds of fun. And I see a couple old guys there, they're smiling, they remember what we used to do. And what I want to leave with the football teams that I talked to today, Coach talked about, look at this body. I call this body, look at this body. I call this a runaway body from the morgue. Should have died 10 years ago. Well, how can this body, how can a guy that looks like this be in 4 Hall of Fames? Think about that. This guy in front of you is in 4 Hall of Fames. And I thought about that, and what did I accomplish as a football player? What did I do by myself? What skills did I have that made me a Hall of Famer? And the answer is absolutely nothing. 0. In the greatness of football, it's what you do as a team. It's what you do collectively that can make you something special. If you took me on my merits, I would be the last guy that would end up where I ended up. But I was surrounded by teammates like yourself. How many seniors you have, Coach? How many, 19? You 19 seniors, when 20 years from now or whenever, will remember your 19 teammates. They put me in the Hall of Fame for high school in Ohio. I played high school football in a little town in Ohio, and they were putting me in the Hall of Fame, and my teammates like you were sitting out there, Coach. And at the induction, I refused to go in unless my teammates came up and walked across the line with me, because I accomplished nothing by myself. If you do accomplish something by yourself, it's not worthy talking about anyway. It takes the fun out of it. What I tell football teams, what do I have on? Can anybody see what I'm wearing? Anybody see what I'm wearing? What do I have on? Did you hear what the coach said? Coach said all black. I have people say you got on jeans, you got on cowboy boots, you got on a belt buckle, you got on a t-shirt. Why am I wearing black? Are your colors black and orange, Coach? Black is not a color. Black is an attitude. So you already got the attitude coming. The coach did to every team that I coached, I changed the team colors to black. Because black is different. Black, the absence of your color that you're wearing, if I had on a pink shirt, you probably wouldn't even listen. The absence of any color allows your spirit to come forth, allows your attitude to show. So your football team, you already got one leg up on the enemy. Who's your biggest rival, Coach said? Next week, what color is their jerseys? Well, good. Treat them like they're wearing pink. I built the Georgia Dome. You've probably seen the teams play the Atlanta Falcons. I was the guy that I got to design the Georgia Dome and build it. And I wanted the enemy's locker room. They wouldn't let me paint it. I painted it periwinkle in turquoise. I wanted them to be mellow and be thinking about all sweet things before they came out. Ours was black, and when we came out, they were trying to tackle us, and we were trying to kill them. There's a difference. There's a difference. I tell everybody the great thing about football, it's what you do collectively. It's what you do for your teammate. It's who you play for. This is not the coach's team. This is not the school's team. This is not the city's team. How about the 19 seniors? Will you please stand up? Got 19 seniors. I will tell you what I told every one of my, this is your team. Who we are and what we are depends on who you are and what you get done collectively. It's a good looking group, Coach. Got a couple guys there. If I could sign them, I'd go back and coach again. Thank you. Sit down. This is your team. So in pro football, the difference in athletic ability, somebody was on TV last night. There's two pro teams playing. And I think one had the Clemson quarterback. Did you see him? The Clemson quarterback was playing last night for Houston. Played real good, by the way. I really liked what I saw. But the difference in athletic ability is smaller than the difference in attitude. Anybody watch the New England Patriots play? Okay, their coach, Bill Belichick, was my assistant coach. And the difference, he's got good players, he's got a good quarterback, but the difference becomes attitude. The difference becomes leadership. How many games you will be and how proud you are of what you do will be these 19 seniors. These 19 seniors have a chance to lead. So I'm going to take you to my team meeting. So tomorrow you can tell everybody, I was in an NFL locker room and I was in an NFL team meeting. Because can you believe I ran one of those for 45 years? Wow. If I knew I was going to live this long, I would have behaved everything I did. Let's build a leader. You're with my team. You all play for me. I cannot lead this football team. Those 19 seniors, sophomore, junior, sitting around listening, this is going to be you. Let's lead. How do you lead? 3 factors. Number 1, truth and honesty. You can't lead this team without being truthful and honest. In pro football, we're on the same team and we ride in together. I'm playing safety and he's third string guard. In pro football, he'll say, those coaches are crazy. I should be the starting guard. They got me at the third guard. Why would they cheat me like that? I should be playing. I have to decide, am I a friend or am I a leader? Leader says, no, you are the third guard. Doesn't mean you have to stay there. You can go to work and get your feet wet. How about jumping rope with me after practice? But right now, you're where you should be. So sometimes leadership has to overcome friendship. True leaders, I call it dirt honesty, tell you the truth, even when you don't want to hear it, to make the team better. That's where you have to go this whole season. The second thing you have to have, we're in America. God bless America. Greatest country ever. Great country. Even in America, as a leader, you have to fight the discouragement. So I call it anti-discouragement. Wow. I had a guy call me. He's very, very successful. He's so successful. He lives in Cleveland, Ohio. Now he owns the city. But who wants to own Cleveland, Ohio? Not me. And he said, why I'm so successful, Coach, is what you taught me. I coached him at Georgia Tech. Reject the rejection. Wow. Reject the rejection. When somebody is rejecting you, reject them. I reject the rejection. I fight the discouragement. I call it anti-discouragement. Whatever the plan is, I tell people this, whatever the play, you'll be shocked. I'm gonna step on the defensive coaches. You go defensive line coach. The play call. Who's the offensive coordinator? The play call is not as important as the team believing. I have called some of the worst games in the history of football and won. I wasn't real smart, but we were all together. And we had people that could fight the discouragement. So you're going to be a leader, truth and honesty, and you got to be able to fight the discouragement. In front of you, you're looking at a coach. You young guys won't know this. I'm the only coach in the history of the NFL that never lost a game at Pittsburgh. And when the Houston Oilers, they're now what? Tennessee Titans. You guys are too young. They used to be the Houston Oilers when I coached them. Played them every year because they're in the same division, playing them twice a year, home and home. Never lost. Was that because of me? No. It's because my leader knew how to fight discouragement. We're playing Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. You're too young to know, you old guy, Bum Phillips, right? Bum Phillips, greatest coach ever in the Houston Oilers. You guys have no idea what I'm talking about. Great cowboy. The Houston Oilers are 0-26 in Pittsburgh. The great Bum Phillips, 10 times better coach than me. They've never won a game in Pittsburgh in the history. 0-26. Now I'm the head coach. Here we go. We're going to Pittsburgh. They have us 3-0. They're ahead 3-0. But my team has sat in this meeting. We have the ball on the 2-yard line. There's 11 seconds on the clock. I have Mike Rozier, tailback, Heisman Trophy winner, Nebraska. You guys wouldn't know. Munchak and Matthews, 2 guards, Hall of Fame. One became the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. That's my 2 guards. So I'm a great coach, eh? Give me 28 toss sweep. Toss the ball to Rozier, pull the 2 guards, get around the corner. Rozier can jump 5 yards, go up in the air, and we'll go in 7-3. We toss the ball back to Rozier, bam! 9 Steelers hit him, -5, gun goes off, half, 3-0. In Pittsburgh, both teams go down the same tunnel. So here goes the Houston Oilers, and here come the Pittsburgh Steelers. At halftime, we're walking shoulder to shoulder. And my starting corner says, "Do we have the dumbest coach in football or what?" I said, "My gosh, I think he's talking about me." He goes, "We got the dumbest coach. All we had to do was kick a field goal. It's tied up, it's 3-3, and we'll come back and play a new game." No! He's got to try to go ahead. Wow, and I thought, he's not only telling my team how dumb I am, he's telling Pittsburgh. He's telling everybody. My team has sat in this meeting. Probably like you at halftime, probably same thing you, there's benches. And the defense sits in these benches, and you look up at a board, and there's a hit chart by formation. So all the defense looks up, and there's I left, and they're running this play, and they're throwing this, and that's all on. That's when you get in here. That's and you sit in there. The offense benches are here, and they're looking that way. And the other corner's name was Doc. So the one corner says, "Doc, you got to agree with me. He's stupid." Well, they went up and sat down and looking at the board, and I had a safety, came from Portland State. And he walked up to the front row, and the corner started saying, "What a call!" And my safety went, bam! Hit him on the jaw, rolled him over. And he walked down to Doc, and he said, "What did you think of the call?" And Doc said, "Damn good call." Wow. We went on and won that game, and we never lost a game there. And that had nothing to do with the coach. That had to do with leadership. I'm going to fight the discouragement. By the way, we never discussed what happened. We never said a word. We just went on and went and played. In Texas, I coached the Houston Oilers, which are the team, would play the Dallas Cowboys for the Governor Cup. So every year, that was the big game. And whoever won that got the governor there, and he handed you a cup. But you also got the radio rights for the Mexico coverage. So it was a money deal. Our owners, all NFL owners, they love money. So it was a big game. So now we're going to play for the Governor's Cup. Third lesson, truth and honesty. You got to fight the discouragement. Your third thing you got to bring. I looked at all the film. I stood in front of my team, and I said, I have looked at every Dallas player. I got good news and bad news. What do you want? Give us the good news, Coach. The good news, every Dallas Cowboy player is a better athlete than every one of you. They said, that's the good news. Yeah, that's the good news. They are better athletes, have more ability than you do. They said, you're kidding. No. God goes around and puts a hand on his head and says, you're intelligent. He puts a hand on your head and says, you're fast. And God puts a hand on your head and says, you can cut, you can run. That's God-given ability. And they got it. I said, well, what's the bad news? The bad news, they're coached by Tom Landry. Doesn't mean anything to you young guys. Hall of Fame, and you're coached by me. Wow. They said, that is bad news. I said, wow, that's bad news. What are we going to do? God helps us become who we are when we are born. By the way, when you're born, you're already a big baby. You come out of the womb, they slap you on the butt, you're 4 seconds old and you're already crying. That's who you are. So you got to get with it. Now that you're there crying, he did not give you at birth any courage or any enthusiasm. Zero. You have none. You have to bring that to the party. Your enthusiasm and your courage, you manufacture. So how do the Oilers beat the Cowboys every single year for the Governor's Cup. Because what you bring can I'm living proof standing in front of you. I have no intelligence. And I've got no ability that I've found yet. I'm still looking. But enthusiasm is the electricity of life. There's never been an upset. There's never been a team that shocked the country that did not do it with enthusiasm and courage. You can kick the field goal and tie it. Or you can lay it all out there. Be a leader. The next time I see you, I want to see those seniors and say, they followed us. We followed your rules. We're better than we should be. Winning every game is not as important as spilling your guts on every play. Thanks for having me.